in high definition. This is CBS 2 News at 11.
Tonight in our Whatever Happened To series, an update on a Los Angeles teacher many of us could never forget. Alfredo Perez is no longer in the classroom, but his life story may be his most valuable lesson yet.
February 1996.
A teacher still battling for his life after being hit by a stray bullet in front of his students.
It was a Thursday morning at Figueroa Street Elementary School in South Los Angeles. Classes were in full swing when bullets crashed through two school windows.
They shot my teacher. Then I run and I went to the hallway because he was like that, and I was talking to him and he didn't talk to me.
Fifth grade teacher Alfredo Perez was hit in the forehead. Police began an intense manhunt for the suspects, believed to be gang members firing at a passing car. The bullet cut a diagonal path through Perez's brain before stopping and leaving Alfredo in a coma.
Tonight, tubes and wires and pumps are keeping teacher Alfredo Perez alive.
But Perez kept fighting. Now, 12 years later, I found Alfredo at home with his family.
I survived, and I'm a survivor.
His wife, Virginia.
Now, not then, now, it's all a learning. It's all a beautiful learning.
And two young sons, 8-year-old Ivan and 4-year-old Adrian. They play and laugh now, but make no mistake, for the Perez family, it's been a long time coming. A year before the shooting, Alfredo Perez's life was on a different path. He was newly married to Virginia, his college sweetheart. They were an athletic and social couple, but their vows were about to be tested.
It was a nightmare. He was basically like a zombie, so to speak, where he couldn't communicate. If you didn't feed him, he didn't eat. And it was real difficult to see your newlywed husband in that state.
Slowly, Perez started to improve.
One of the first words he said was my name. And he would say, Virginia. It was like that. Because he didn't speak for two months.
But the improvements came slowly. He was able to lift his head. His memory started to come back. Then, he was finally able to walk.
It was hard work, but you know, it had to be done, and I was more than happy to do it.
Alfredo will be in therapy for the rest of his life, but in spite of what he lost, he says he's not bitter.
You know, Paul, I never really paid attention to what happened, just today and tomorrow.
Virginia says the cards and letters of support helped get her through the shock and gave her endurance.
This was my therapy. I would just come home and read. I had letters and cards from so many schools and students.
Alfredo says he doesn't relive the event itself.
I don't remember.
Prior to the shooting, though?
Yeah, no, I don't remember 2-3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a tape, and it unwinds for like 2-3 weeks before the accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a protective mechanism so that you're not in shock or something. So that's the way the body works that way.
So, Alfredo, have you tried to remember that morning? Have you tried to remember the weeks or two ahead of that?
No.
Wow.
I guess it'd be too painful.
Yeah.
It'd be too much.
As for the two men accused in the shooting,
Prosecutors have given up trying to convict 2 reputed gang members in the shooting of teacher Alfredo Perez.
after 2 mistrials, both suspects walked free.
That's the library here at Figueroa Elementary School, just beyond those windows. Those windows, by the way, are bulletproof, a change that was made shortly after that horrible day. But there are no plaques, no memorials of any sort. School officials decided it was simply best to move on.
And although moving on, the Perez family will never forget what happened.
They're asking questions, you know, why doesn't your arm work? You know, who hurt Daddy?
The scrapbook she made as therapy became a way to explain the shooting to the boys, and as a reminder of the tremendous effort to hold their lives together.
When you love someone, there's no possible way that you can leave them when they're in the most vulnerable stage. I mean, you can't. You can't. And that's what true love is.
She was there, and she's still here, and I just love her. I can't describe the amount of love that I feel for her.
Alfredo never returned to the classroom, but he does volunteer with children, teaching new immigrants how to speak English.
So wonderful to see them doing so well.
And they really are. They're just absolutely delightful people and a wonderful family on top of it.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Just terrific. Thank you, Paul.